I wanted to dive in. I love the fact that your character starts so unassuming, but then really grows into herself and becomes the protagonist. What did you enjoy about taking on a role where you really have that autonomy of as a character?
Well, it's really fun to be in a lot of scenes in a movie. Sometimes I have to do so much work on my own because I'm not in so much. So I have to do a lot of pretending about things that happen that we don't actually shoot in a movie that I'm in. So in this, it's all pretty much there. I get to do everything, and it helps too because it builds the story. Even though we don't shoot in order, obviously, like you really build off of all of the things that you do and that you did. And in this one, certainly, like there was so much great stuff on the page that I didn't really have to do too much magic. It was all kind of there.
I love how in the film as well that the film is very comedic, but in world the stakes are very high and there's a lot of tension. How do you approach a role like that where the character is going through a lot, but the audience is meant to have a good time?
Yeah, I don't really look at it as my job to my job on set is to just play the truth of this scene, and then I let the guys or girl, in this case the guys, my directors, kind of adjust the tone. But a lot of the tone gets decided in the editing room, and so I just really like to give I really like to give my characters like a lot of respect, and I want them to shine, and I want them to be able to tell a real story and not just kind of like a comment on. So that's why I try not too much to just think of like, oh, this is a comedy, so I have to do this scene really funny.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
then I think you get into some tricky territory.
Got it. And then lastly, the film obviously deals with fast food joints and things like that. I'm curious how that went in terms of like eating the chili and
that was gross. Actually,
yeah,
I mean, obviously it was
gross.
a fake finger, but it did actually really gross.
It seemed really gross. I never want to eat at a Wendy's again.
We're not saying that out loud.
Yeah.
I also really love fast food, and so
don't we all?
I mean, man. So it was that was a tough one, but I didn't think the finger and the chili would gross me out as much as it actually did on set. And I do have a couple fingers at home that were left over.
Little souvenir to take home.